Welcome to the presentation titled AI-powered podcast interventions for enhancing speaking skills in ELT for A1 adult students. This information is presented by myself, Aremu, and my colleague, Aremu Paredes. Here, this investigation was actually developed at ITCA Universitario in Ibarra, Ecuador, and explores the impact of AI tools on spoken English development.
Thank you. To begin, the focus is placed on adult learners that are working towards greater fluency. The goal of this investigation is to test whether regular guided podcasts, with the use of podcasts, we can improve pronunciation, listening, comprehension, and intonation in real classroom conditions. Okay, so welcome everyone. To understand the motivation we had behind this project, we need to consider a common challenge. So many adult learners, they perform well doing grammar exercises and vocabulary tasks. But when it comes to speaking, the hesitation occurs.
Thank you for that information. That's why, building on that observation, this project was designed to bridge the gap between controlled knowledge and real-world communication. The focus of this investigation moved towards finding flexible, meaningful ways to expose learners to natural English input. And that is why we have this research problem. It's that this, with the goal we have in mind, attention was turned to the broader issue of research problem in the local context, which is that in many Ecuadorian institutions, oral practice remains totally limited, especially in part-time programs for adults like the one they have at ITCA University.
Yes, so as a result of this, pronunciation, listening accuracy, and spoken rhythm often remain underdeveloped. So, as we can see, there's a lack of exposure to connected speech outside the classroom, and this significantly affects fluency in students. So, to address the issue, this project introduced podcast listening as a possible solution. So, AI generated podcasts are widely available, they are flexible, and they are also adaptable to different levels and also to all kinds of interests.
Thank you for that input, my colleague. That's why supporting this approach, Ani and Saburi in 2016 demonstrated that a structured listening process or activities can improve pronunciation. And that's the aim we have, to explore how this would work in a low resource, real world environment like the one for adult learners at ITCA Universitario, where there is a low resource condition. Hence, to provide a clear view of this study, we have been able to organize this presentation into 4 parts. The first part is the background and theoretical basis of the study. The second is the research design, while the third talks about the participants and the tools used, while the fourth will talk about the reflections of this investigation. Here, we've been able to analyze, to clearly define these aspects in order for you to understand our information.
Okay. So this section covers the first 3 findings, and full analysis will follow in the next presentation. All right. So now moving into the research design, mixed methods action research model was applied, and with a total of 25 adult A1 learners which participated, and they are also enrolled at ITCA Universitario, all of them.
Yeah, which helps to create a comparison because we formed 2 groups of students. The first set of students are the experimental group who engage with AI podcast interventions. This happens twice weekly, and The application or the platform that was used was the notebook LM, and subsequently the control group followed the standard practices in the normal course taken by the English department at IDCAD University. That's to say, they followed the normal process and not going through the notebook platform in order to ensure that we're able to gauge a difference between both parties. And that's moving on to theoretical framework. The study design was guided by key theoretical models. We're talking about first Krashen's input hypothesis from 1982, where there's an emphasis on the role of comprehensible input just beyond the learner's current level. And in addition to that, we have Firth and Wagner's social approach to language learning of 1997, which highlights the importance of interaction and real-world communication. Yes, while podcasts are not live, they do simulate authentic speech in relevant contexts.
Thank you for that. And now, finally, Hani and Savory, in the year 2016, they confirmed that listening activities can enhance pronunciation when they are used consistently. So, these theories shade both the structure of the intervention and the tools used to evaluate the impact. So now we're moving on to the results. And although this section is not fully covered yet, initial findings reveal a clear trend. So, participants that are exposed to podcasts report an increase in comfort with speaking and articulation and during the different tasks we gave them.
And this feedback suggests a promising direction for lowering low-cost interventions because, of course, as we go on into a deeper analysis, which is still ongoing right now, we will be able to share this information in subsequent presentations that we're going to have.
Okay, so thank you for the time you spent listening to our presentation. And the discussion aimed to explain the foundation and structure of the study and why this topic is important in Ecuadorian EFL context. And here are the key references for our investigation. Thank you again.